Apple just did something that a few years ago would have sounded like a tech prophecy written by someone who drank way too much cold brew. Apple is working with Google to make Apple Intelligence smarter. Yes, Apple, Google, together. In this video, I tell you all about it. Let's get to it. Somewhere, a 2012 Apple keynote is screaming into the void. For years, Apple has positioned itself as the privacy-first hero, while Google played the role of the data-hungry supervillain who somehow already knows what you're thinking before you finish typing it. And now, they're collaborating. Not friends, let's not get crazy, but co-workers. The kind that smile in meetings and secretly judge each other's laptops. On paper, Apple Intelligence is exactly what you'd expect from Apple. Clean, elegant, deeply integrated, and very calm about everything. It summarizes notifications, rewrites messages, generates images, and tries really hard to sound confident. But in reality, early on, it felt a little like Siri after 3 self-help books, positive energy, great intentions, but not exactly blowing your mind. Meanwhile, Google's AI models are out here doing calculus, writing essays, and casually solving problems humanity just discovered yesterday. So Apple looked at the situation, adjusted its minimalist glasses, and said, okay, maybe we don't need to do everything ourselves. Apple's solution? Keep Apple Intelligence mostly on device, keep the privacy messaging front and center, and when things get complicated, like when you ask a question that requires actual thinking, Apple hands it off to Google AI. Quietly, politely, and obviously with your permission. Apple still controls the experience, the interface, the security, and the vibes. Google just supplies the raw brain power when Apple's AI hits a thinking moment a little too long for comfort. Now, this is where things get spicy, because let's talk about ChatGPT. Apple didn't exactly hide the fact that it had already made a deal in place to work with OpenAI. So where does this leave ChatGPT now that Google has entered the chat? Literally. The most likely answer is ChatGPT isn't gone, it's just not the main character anymore. Think less exclusive partner and more one of the experts Apple can call when needed. Like a specialist, you see, when the problem gets weirdly specific. Apple's not choosing sides here, it's building a bench. Google handles certain queries, ChatGPT handles others, and Apple sits in the middle like an AI air traffic controller, deciding which brain gets the call. From Apple's perspective, this is perfect. They avoid locking themselves into one AI provider, they keep leverage in negotiations, and they get to swap models in and out like accessories. Lightning port, but for intelligence. And from OpenAI's point of view, this is probably stings a little. This probably stings a little. Not catastrophic, but definitely we thought we were your favorite child moment. Apple working with Google doesn't mean ChatGPT failed. It means Apple wants redundancy. If one model lags, another steps in. If one gets controversial, Apple politely backs away smiling. This isn't betrayal, it's Apple being Apple. No permanent friendships, only permanent control. Which brings us back to the most Apple move imaginable. Apple doesn't want to win the AI arms race by throwing the biggest model at the problem. They want to win by making AI feel invisible, helpful but not creepy, powerful but not chaotic. Google, on the other hand, has been training AI models like their Pokemon cards. Gotta catch 'em all, gotta make 'em bigger, smarter, and faster. By teaming up with both Google and OpenAI, Apple gets access to world-class AI without becoming the company that suddenly knows what you search for 2 weeks at 2 a.m. in 2014. Let's be clear. This isn't Apple admitting defeat. They would never do that. This is Apple admitting reality. AI is expensive, complex, and moving at a speed that makes yearly hardware refresh cycles look ancient. Instead of pretending Siri magically evolved overnight, Apple is doing what it does best, curating the experience. Google builds the engine, OpenAI fine-tunes another engine, Apple designs the car, which is ironic considering they used to have an idea for a car, tunes the suspension, adds leather seats, and then charges extra for the color. Everyone stays in character. What's really wild is that what this means going forward. If Apple is willing to work with Google and keep ChatGPT in its back pocket, it opens the door to a future where Apple intelligence isn't powered by just one brain, but several. Apple becomes the AI traffic cop, deciding who answers what, when, and how, while still reminding you every 5 minutes that your data is safe, encrypted, and probably locked in a titanium vault somewhere under Cupertino. So no, this isn't the end of Apple's privacy stance. And it's not the beginning of a Google-Apple super alliance or a breakup with ChatGPT. It's a pragmatic, slightly awkward, but very smart strategy that makes Apple intelligence competitive without sacrificing what Apple users care about most. And honestly, if it means Siri finally understands what you mean the first time, I think we can all agree to pretend that this was the plan all along. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button so the algorithm knows you exist. Subscribe for more tech deep dives with just enough sarcasm to keep things interesting. And let me know in the comments what you think. Genius move or tech world plot twist? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. As always, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, X, the app formerly known as Twitter, and of course, right here on YouTube at J.R. Abrams Tech. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.